what led up to you becoming Kanye's DJ?
The way that it started was really very simple. I went to London for a gig, just a regular DJ gig, and it turns out that the whole Rockefeller crew was in London that week doing promo and this and that. And I had an in-store at a record shop. I went to this record shop to do some routines and kind of promote my gig. And Damon Dash was there and this and that, and John Legend was doing a little promo. This was before John Legend's first record even, and through that Kanye saw me flip this Jay-Z record, and he got really psyched, and we started talking after my performance, and he was like, "Man, usually when I see these scratch guys, it's like too." I don't remember what word he used, but he said something to the effect of like, the scratch kids usually like it's too obscure or complex. Like there's nothing that you really recognize in the sounds that they're using. It's like very insular, I guess is what he was trying to say. But with me, he saw me flip a Jay-Z record that everybody knew, and that juggle it and flip the whole beat structure around. And I think a light bulb went off in his head where he was like, first of all, he was looking for a DJ. He was about to go on tour for his first real tour. And he wanted to like have me there as his DJ. I think he wanted to kind of show me off. The first couple shows we did together, he would say, it was me, Kanye, and John Legend on stage. He'd be like, "We got the world's greatest DJ, A-Trak, the future R&B, John Legend." Everybody had like a title with him, and he wanted to just, have me show off my tricks in a way that his audience would understand. You know what I mean? Because turntablism at that time had branched off into like its own little world. It didn't really communicate with the rest of hip-hop that much, but he saw that I could build that bridge. And really, honestly, a big part of my career, especially in the last 10 years or so, has been about that, about building those bridges, whether it be between the underground and the mainstream, or like between various sub-scenes in DJing, or even in later years between genres from hip-hop to electronic music and all that. Like that's a lot of what I do, is just building those bridges and making those connections and taking my craft to places where people don't assume that it could go, in a sense.
What do you think is probably your craziest Kanye story from being on tour with him for so long?
Kanye is known for, being headstrong and speaking out and this and that. But for me, that was always exciting because, he's an artist with a strong vision, and that's something that I respect. Like for me, that was like fuel to be around someone like that. It was exciting to be part of these projects where you're working with someone who's so driven, and I was able to give my input and my influence in this and that and see the result. I remember there was a cool story about how I ended up recording the scratches on Gold Digger, where like, obviously when we were on tour, we'd be on the road together. If there wasn't any shows for a while, I would step off and do my own thing. So, periods when Kanye was recording his albums, I'd go and do my own solo tour. And that's really when I started branching off and doing my own headlining tours myself and pushing my own branding and this and that. But anyways, he was recording Late Registration, and I knew Gold Digger for a while. He even had the demo. He used to like just, rap over the beat backstage all the time and just practice his verses. And I had this idea for some scratches over the course where he goes, "Get down, girl, go ahead, get down." And I wanted to scratch the word "get down." But his schedule's so crazy, we didn't get to connect when he was in the studio recording the song at first. And then we had a show at this festival in Seattle, and we hadn't seen each other in like 2-3 months or something. He's like, "Yo, the album's almost done. We're wrapping it up like this week." And I remember thinking like, "Oh shit, do you still want me to do those scratches on Gold Digger? I had this idea. I think it would be dope." And I could tell he was like, "Man, yes, I want to. My budget's all tapped out. Def Jam's not letting me fly anybody out. There's like all this, it's all like maxed out. We got to finish this week. I want to hear what your idea is, but I feel like the song needs scratches." Because I remember he was scared that Gold Digger was going to be too pop for him. So he wanted, the scratches were going to like give it like a hip hop kind of authentic grounding in a sense. So he's like, "I want to hear your idea, but I'm flying out right after the show and da-da-da, and I don't have any more money in the budget." And I was like, "Man, all right, let's just do the show." And in the back of my head, I had my idea. And he decides to test out the song live for the first time, super last minute. Anybody that works with Kanye knows that like he'll have an idea on the spot, and you have to be able to just jump in. So he's like, "Yo, A-Trak, play Gold Digger." The song's not even finished, recorded, mixed, anything. I had the beat, I played it, and then during the chorus, I grabbed the sample that I had, the idea in my head to scratch, and like live in front of like 20,000 people at a festival, I added my scratches to the song right there at the show without running it by him. And he loved it. So right after the set, he was like, "Yo, that thing that you did, that needs to be on the records. I'll fly you out with my own money. Fuck Def Jam, this and that. Like, I'll fly you tomorrow." And that's what we did. He flew me to the studio and we recorded it. And that's how I ended up being, on the song. I had to like audition live without asking him, and it worked out.